10, 9, ignition sequence start, 6.
Hello and welcome to Rocket Fuel, your daily update of everything that's happening in the Rocket Pool community. My name is Wack. Today is Friday, July 7th, and we've got a quick episode for you again all today, so let's get started with that. First of all, we're going to start in the DAO forum today, where the rewards period has been open for 1 week now. So let's have a look at some of the different grants, bounties, and retroactive award submissions that we've gotten, and you can have a look and see if you should apply too. So the first one we have is this right here from Polarpunk Labs. So Polarpunk Labs is wanting to do a Rocket Pool case study managing decentralized staking. So what this means is that here they say that the Rocket Pool case study is a part of a series of case studies to use in my classroom, but released as an open source license on GitHub for general use. It is part of my level 3 Web3 educational case studies project on GitHub, and then there's a link to Polarpunk Labs level 3. Level 3 is a Web3 education case studies open source repository, and now it includes the following sections. So there's a history of Ethereum proof of stake, history of Rocket Pool. It will include, Rocket Pool products overview and the case study problem. So, this is from a person who teaches at a university, and there's some information over here. It says that I'm a lecturer assistant professor in management information systems at the College of Business at the University College in Dublin, which is in Ireland, and there's also these different pieces of information about how the course would work, and what will be produced by this, and where the information will be found, and then you can go and have a look at that. This person is asking for $3,000, which $2,000 of which will go to a research assistant, $500 will go to an editor, and $500 will go to sundries. That's just like extras that might come up. And they're saying that they got a previous grant from Aave for a case study. They got $5,500 there, but this one they think that they can get done for $3,000. So that's nice. Patches here has a renewal for the rescue Rocket Pool rescue node, which if you have issues with your node, then you can use the rescue node to make sure that everything's working the way it's supposed to. And Patches gives good information here about what is working, what isn't working, what they've done, what went above and beyond. For example, they added Lodestar support, which wasn't there when they applied for their grant. And there's more information there as well about how it's all working, how the money has gone, who the team is, like Kane, Popash, Patches, Hani, Abu, and Sleety are part of the team. And it gives a breakdown of how much RPL they've each received for this, if they've got any retroactive reimbursements, etc., and what their expected outgoings are per month over the last few months, and how all that's added up. And then Patches here says that his ongoing cost will actually be $520 a month, as July invoice also contained a small proration amount, and then there's a multi-sig which has like some money in there, and that'll last them about 3 months, etc. So that's they're renewing they think it's a huge investment on returns, because they it's profitable if there's only 1 or 2 validators connected at any given time, but as of writing this, there are 175 validators connected, so there's a whole lot connected. So it's definitely profitable for the GMC to keep funding this. Of course, that's not me as a GMC member speaking, that's me as Wack, host of Rocket Fuel, speaking. So Patches presents the case there. Here we have Long Island Blockchains, which is presented a project Rocket Split. So this is a project that will make split contracts available to everyone in the Rocket Pool community. It's an extension of Marco Barco and Worthalter's nodes, or their whale marriages, or mine and Romana's dolphin marriage contracts. So that information, they have been working on that. They've been gathering all the information for it and getting it ready. And it'll be Ramana and 2 people from Long Island Blockchain who'll be doing the work together. And they've got giving information about what work is and isn't there. And they are asking for 500 RPL for the work done, and for the everything, all that except audits. So there'll be no formal audit or any regular audit included in that. So that's just the cost of all the development and getting all the work done. Here we have a grant application from Shifrin, who's the admin on the GMC. So this is POAPs. The Shifrin applied for a 1 month test during round 2, and he gave out like a certain number of POAPs. Now he's back with the idea of giving out 24 POAPs over the course of 6 months, and for that Shifrin is asking for $3,000, $500 a month. So that as well. So those are grant applications that are already there. Next we have some bounties that have come out. The first one is one from Waldorf, which is Watchtower Dissolver for any node operators. So there's some duties that are given to the oDAO, which Waldorf is saying that should come into the community. So we can do it on the grants basis, where people will get a grant for every one of these instances that they do. So here there's a dissolver for node operators. Is smart node pull request that implements the following: if a node operator opts in using a TUI, monitors for dissolve opportunities, dissolves using flashbots to avoid multiple people paying for gas, since only the first will succeed, and for oDAO nodes, it doesn't dissolve until 1 hour beyond and get launch timeout. So here there'll be some changes that will happen to make this work, and he says benefits will remove a duty currently being performed by the oDAO. So you can go and read the rest of the information from there, but Waldorf thinks it's worth about $2,000, but maybe we can talk to the person who chooses to do the option to see if they should get paid more or less. And then dissolve a mini pool is the same idea. This again is a duty that's being done by the oDAO, and then it'll be taken away from the oDAO to put into place using this bounty, and then they'll be working with these two bounties will kind of work together, so both of them will have to be approved. But with this one, as they keep the actions going, then they'll get paid in the future as well. So 0.1 RPL plus ETH refund for gas, and I think there's some payment as well for. Yeah, okay, so I'm not sure exactly how it'll work, but I guess some of the more technical members of the GMC will understand that, especially Joe. Next is bring the Rocket Pool documentation website up to date. So Val says that there's a lot of areas in the website where things are out of date. For example, it references an upcoming merge. It has information about the commission being 5 to 20%, which hasn't been for a very long time. It has information about 15% being the default commission, which it hasn't been for a very long time. So Val here is saying that this whole website should be updated for like easy piece of information like that, and the person who does that should get paid $1,000 in RPL, but like figure it out. And then Noshua is letting Val post again. So here there is more information from Val saying MEV theft reporting. What is the nature of the proposed bounty? He says very little visibility into MEV theft is happening, how frequently, how damaging, etc. We may not be able to get exact answers, but we should get close. So he says level detail for each MEV boost block, check if an acceptable fee recipient was used. For each vanilla block, calculate how much was lost by not using MEV boost. And then high level, it says losses due to a wrong fee recipient. They can lose their ETH or ETH per period or affect the APR. That's for the protocol, and then losses due to not using MEV boost, total ETH per period, affect an APR. And then distribution of MEV boost bids for all blocks, all Rocket Pool blocks that do not use MEV boost with correct fee recipient, all Rocket Pool blocks that use MEV boost with wrong fee recipient, and all vanilla Rocket Pool blocks. It says the starred items are the real meat of this work. If those distributions look mostly the same, then we can be confident there's negligible theft ongoing. So there's more information here as well, and Val says that this the work should be paid about $15,000 to $20,000 for the core deliverables. Val says, I know this is quite a bit, but to me this work is currently critical. We're not actively penalizing fee recipient issues or use of vanilla blocks. This only makes sense if we have evidence that the system is working well. Right now we do not have that evidence. He says this for stretch goals, up to $2,000 for additional relays, up to $500 for a non-technical dashboard. The full price would be for a highly informative dashboard with with strong user experience. That's $5,000 more. So Valdov says there's some chance I will compete for this bounty or work on the team competing for it. So that's a conflict of interest. And he says, I have vested interest, but only if I end up doing part of the bounty work. So that is all of the bounties at the moment. And then finally, we have retrospective awards that are going out. And here we have one from Val for DC McCartney, who made Rocketsweep, that we're going to be talking about later in the episode as well. It's open source, and it's an easy place to look at all unclaimed rewards for a node. And then payment, Val says, $1,000 maybe, but the author should be consulted a little. And he said, I thought the all nodes component of Rocket Hub might be a similar impact for the protocol as a reference point. And then there's another one here from Valdorf, which is RETH slippage for IMC. So this was a tool created by Ramana, and it says that this is a tool that helps you see what the price impact of 1% sale of how much RETH you have to sell to cause slippage of 1% and this is a crucial piece of information for the IMC when they get their information together. And Ramana is part of the IMC, but this creating this tool was above and beyond any IMC work. And then Val says he uses this tool constantly, and it's amazing because it saves him so much time for his work and gives him time to do other things. So he says the payment should be about $1,000. He says the direct impact is very focused, which makes me think low, but it made for more Val time and slightly happier at Rocket Pool Val. 2 hours of Val time a month for a year would be a good buy at this price, I think. Worth a quick chat with Ramana to see if he feels it's reasonable. And then here there's 2 retroactive awards that Schifrin, as the GMC administrator, is putting forward. One is for Val, which is governance facilitation. And then the second one is for Val as well, of course, which is IMC work applications in round 2 based on that. So this is just a matter of bringing the 2 rewards that were given to Val more in line with the amount that was initially asked for, instead of the amount that was given. So there'll be some that will go to the GMC for approval as well. And next we have this one from M. Murthy, which is a retroactive award for Karma Delegate Dashboard. So this is for Karma, and they built a dashboard that gives you information about the Rocket Pool voting and all the people that you can vote for, the delegates for that. This is the proposal details can be found here. So that was in the previous application round, and they were told at the time to that the GMCs are actively funding dashboards, and it's more of a thing of maybe do the work and then see if, depending on the impact of the work, you can get a retroactive grant potentially. So I guess they started working on the dashboard. The first version was launched at the end of the month, and then there's an announcement, and then it gives you benefits of what the dashboard is, and it also tells you how much they're asking for. They're asking for 300 RPL, which will cover the following already completed work: setting up the dashboard, maintain the dashboard for 1 year with bug fixes, etc., and enhancements requested by the community. So yeah, those are all the grant applications that have come in so far. I know for sure that there'll be a few more coming in before the end of this period. That's because at least one of them will be mine, but there'll be others as well, I'm sure. And I'll keep you all up to date with those as they're coming in. But that was really cool. Okay, next we saw that there was another oDAO member who voted for the oDAO charter, which is of course happening on chain and not happening using Snapshot. So currently we have Fizz, Lighthouse Crypto Manufacturer, Rocket Scientist, Beacon Chain, and Consensus Codify. So that is 6 oDAO members now who have voted in favor of this. We need 10 oDAO members to vote for the charter to pass, and of course the inflation reduction, etc., to pass as well. There are 4 team nodes, so if all 4 team nodes were to vote true for this, in agreement with this, then it would be done, and it would reach quorum, and it would also pass if they all voted true, of course. However, we have not we've not seen those 14 nodes come in yet, so I'm not sure what they're waiting for. Get on it, guys. But also, there's other people who are on the oDAO who can vote as well. So there's 19 at the moment. So we need 10 for it to reach quorum and for it to pass. And I'll give you an update when more of those come in. So consensus CodeFi, they voted yes, and I'll let you know as more come in. Okay, next we are moving on to some follow-up that we got from Kane, from Kane's governance work. So, of course, Kane says that, he is designing the on-chain voting system for the PDAO, which would remove the guardianship and the man in the middle impact that it has at the moment. So here there's this person from UMA, Stonkbronker, who says, have you gents looked at OSNAP from UMA to solve the governance decentralization problem? TLDR, it validates the results of snapshot votes on chain and automatically executes transactions from multisigs. A bunch of DAOs with the same problem you have started using it. Might be more resource efficient than removing your whole governance system on chain. And there's a link there to the UMA documents and that idea. And then Kane followed up from that saying, thanks for reaching out and suggesting the solution. If I understand it correctly from my brief read of the docs, it relies on some trusted network to oracle the snapshot result on chain as a form of fraud proof. Is that right? It sounds like a cool idea, but I don't think it aligns well with our protocol's values by shifting the responsibility onto an external oracle network. UMA token holders are the ones who resolve disputes, and UMA's market cap is 114 million, which is far a bit lower than Rocket Pool's, and our DAO is run by node operators themselves. So now governance capture is a lot easier. So basically what Kane is suggesting here, that someone could buy out the UMA tokens, they could use that to kind of basically attack the votes for Rocket Pool. And by attacking the votes for Rocket Pool, they'd be able to impact a protocol that's far bigger than $114 million, like closer to $1 billion, and really impact it there. So I think he was kind of saying it doesn't really work for us. But then the person got back saying, we dig the model because any DAO can be as involved with the validation process as we are. The Oracle validates statements optimistically, so there's a window where anyone, third parties, the RPL community can dispute an assertion as being inaccurate. Dispute equals automatic deletion. UMA token holders only intervene to decide how bonds get split. We can't reject disputes. Once the outcome is validated on chain, anyone can execute it. So your community can come in and initiate the transaction or deploy and upgrade contracts, etc. Basically run and maintain the protocol without core team having to take central ownership of anything. Plus keeps the gasless voting from snapshot. So Kane says, what's stopping anyone from disputing any valid proposal for grief, loss of bond as determined by UMA holders? And then he says, that's a good follow-up. Asserters have to put down a bond. Disputers have to match it. If they're right, they get a % of the asserter's bonds. If they're wrong, the asserter gets a % of the disputers. A portion gets taken by the protocol, so there's no profitable strategy for griefing. UMA holders vote secretly, and we get slashed if we vote with the minority side. Legitimately, 99% of assertions go through undisputed. Pretty much all disputes are for prediction markets or something where there was legitimate ambiguity. But yeah, TLDR, I'm just a huge fan of Rocket Pool. Happy to help out, but still a maxi no matter what. And then Kane says, appreciate it. I'd like to think of the worst case scenario versus the happy case. If someone had 50% of UMA tokens, they could essentially hold the DAO at ransom by disputing every change and then voting that the dispute is valid every time. So there's still definitely some issues here that are going forward. And sorry, I'm laughing at something that Maverick said. Anyway, yeah, there's still some discussions going on around here, but I think Kane wasn't fully convinced, and I don't think they've come back yet to talk about this issue. If the issue does come back and there's more discussion about it, then I'll let you all know, because I find it personally I find it fascinating. So yeah, actually, let me come back to that at the end of the episode, because there's a little funny thing there. Right, so a nice little thing happened overnight, this morning, where 1KX, who's one of the biggest node operators at Rocket Pool, staked 70,000 RPL, and then on one node, and then 70,000 RPL on another node, worth 1,400 ETH each. And those two deposits of 140,000 RPL really nuked our rewards. But that's joking. Our rewards, obviously, the more people that stake, the less rewards you get, because the inflation is fixed. It gets divided out amongst more people. But that had the happy side effect of Rocket Pool hitting 9 million RPL tokens staked by node operators in total now. So that's a really nice development that we've seen here, like another milestone that's been hit. 9 million RPL is just less than 50% of RPL. It's 50% of RPL where we started in 2021. Wow, it's already been nearly 2 years. Just over a year and a half, yeah. We need another 750,000 to get us to where we are now, with the inflation that we've had in a year and a half. So just hitting 50% of RPL staked, I think I would have thought it'd be in a bit higher at this point, in all honesty. One of the things that's happened, of course, is that, converting to LEB8s lets you make a lot more ETH effective, while not needing to make more RPL effective if you're someone with a higher collateral point anyway. I think if you needed more RPL, or if you could have added more RPL, then that number would have shot up a lot, because the whales who have RPL like above 150% would have staked that as well, but that's totally fine. 9 million ETH is staked. The effective amount is a little bit less than that, but it's looking really good. Okay, yesterday we talked about how there was a Grafana issue if you updated your operating system on your node. We figured out what that issue was. So here Joe is saying, attention node operators, earlier today Docker released version 2.19.1 of the Docker Compose plugin package, which the smart node uses. This is a broken release that contains a bug that will stop Prometheus and thus Grafana from working. If you recently upgraded your system packages or have automatic upgrades turned on, and you notice that Grafana is now reporting no data for everything, you are likely impacted by this bug. This will not affect statisticians. It simply affects your ability to monitor your node via Grafana. If you'd like to wait until a fix is released, you're welcome to do so. If you'd like to fix it now, please follow the instructions below. And then there's instructions below of how you can first of all check if you have that version, and if you do have that version, then there's a whole bunch of different Linux options that will show you the code you need to run in order to fix the issue. So that's how you do it. So you just need to restart the service after it's done to make sure that Prometheus fixed up. And then here at the end, Joe says thanks to Patches and Maurus for running the issue to ground and reporting the fix. So yeah, that's nice. Thanks, Joe, for that update. And hopefully if your Grafana has balked, then you can use the guide here to fix it. The link, of course, is in the notes, in the description below. Right, next we have this update from D. McCartney, who I mentioned earlier. Val, of course, nominated him for a retroactive award. He says, I just released this to Rocketsweep. So he had an update before saying, after some feedback, I simplified the dashboard a little bit. Now it starts with just one glowing green button that sweeps everything, and then there's a little tuner you can expand to customize the sweep. I'm sitting on this until I get a chance to test it a bit during the next reward interval. We talked about this Rocketsweep on the website like a while ago when it first launched, so let's go have a look, a little play around. But he says the most notable difference is simplified sweep for safe users to claim all rewards in one shot, intervals, consensus, and execution. It also includes a lot of little style tweaks. Feedback very welcome. Please let me know if you notice anything broken, if you've got an idea for missing feature that you'd like to see added or improved. And Kane says looks great. Mad Matt says this is better and better each time. Do you have girly version? I usually don't do anything a minute before testing on girly. DC McCartney says good idea. I started out there but I have stopped for now since the distraction of end false errors seems to outweigh the confidence gains. Plus for actual transactions, I'm never not simulating them on Tenderly first. And that said, my gut says the non-UI code is getting complex enough to justify carving out bits for more automated testing that's relatively easy to run against other environments, I guess, and chain snapshots. But let's have a look at the actual tool now and see what is there. I just need to wait for it to open. Okay, so let me show you this angle. So here what happens is you connect your wallet address to view your nodes, or you can use a node address. So let me actually go and get Thomas's, because Thomas of course is our biggest whale, well, on a single node. So if we go to nodes and we see the biggest nodes, sorry, I should have done this beforehand. Yeah, Rocketscan can be a tiny bit slow sometimes. Let me just get that to load. Okay, so here is Thomas's address. Let's just grab that really quickly. Oh, here it is. I can just copy it from the address bar. Okay, then we go back to Rocketsweep and let's find a node. So here we have details that have come up for Thomas's wallet. As you can see over here, there are a whole lot of ETH waiting to be swept. There's a whole lot of RPL waiting to be swept. And let's have a look. So there's 1,000 ETH waiting to be swept. There's nearly 30,000 RPL waiting to be swept. And there's 907 across 921 staking mini pools. So how much will come to Thomas? So of the consensus rewards, 895 will come to Thomas, and 617 will go to RETH, so as rewards for them. And then with the execution and tips and MEV, there's 11.6 that will go to Thomas, and 8.8 that will go to RETH. And then let's see about the intervals. So you can see over here that there's breakdown per interval. So Thomas hasn't claimed his rewards since interval 1, so he hasn't claimed his rewards in 9 months. So each month he's getting about 70,000 RPL, give or take, and he's getting, a big chunk of ETH, and I don't think he's claimed any of them. Well, maybe that doesn't make sense. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. So I haven't really played around with this too much, but then what you can do is you can connect your wallet, and then you can just sweep all the rewards that you want. So it's pretty nice that you have this capability. And yeah, Thomas has a whole bunch of rewards that he can. Oh no, sorry, I was mistaken. This amount here shows you how much is coming into the whole ecosystem for that period. So in interval 11 there was 300 ETH that came in into the smoothing pool, I guess, or as execution rewards, and then 73,000 RPL which went to as inflation. And then Thomas here had 5,000 RPL in there that he didn't claim, and then other people here had claimed or unclaimed amounts as well. So this is a really, really nice tool that DC McCartney made. People in the community are using it already to claim their rewards, and I think it makes it easier for them to do that. So that's really cool. He's getting some really good feedback, and of course Val put in a grant application for him as well. So that's really cool. Moving on from that now, or we already talked about that. I don't know why that's there. We had this Indian YouTube channel where this person was talking about 3 under the radar crypto altcoin gems with huge potential, and then there was one in DeFi, one in liquid staking, and one in layer 2. And here the person starts talking about Rocket Pool.
Rocket Pool, the token that skyrocketed in the bear market. जी हाँ, you heard it right. RPL ने अपने ऑल टाइम हाई को 16 अप्रैल 2023 को टच किया था. At present, RPL अपने ऑल टाइम लो से 440,528% ऊपर है. लीडो की तरह रॉकेट पूल भी एक लिक्विड स्टेकिंग प्लेटफॉर्म है. ये लीडो से छोटा है, लेकिन उनके प्लेटफॉर्म पर लगभग $1 billion ईच स्टेक है. और लीडो की तरह यहाँ आपको इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर.
Okay, so if you speak Hindi, then the person is kind of using some Hindi language and some English, but they are basically talking about how great Rocket Pool's growth has been and how it's a hidden gem. It's like Lido but smaller than Lido, and it has all this stuff. So that's really cool that these little channels from across the world are now. So this channel is called Altcoin Buzz India. It has 300 subscribers, but it's really nice that they're getting these coverage of Rocket Pool. So that was a nice little find. I thought I'd give a coverage to that because it's nice that people around the world are following Rocket Pool. Okay, and oh yeah, we already talked about that as well. Just give me one moment. Let me see what I'm missing here. Oh yeah, okay. So that's all good. And then finally, we have this little thing. So Maverick talks in general a lot, like to people who come in and ask a lot of questions. And there's this one person called Punith, who has been asking a whole lot of questions. And Maverick said to them, Punith, this is a warning. Asking the occasional question about Rocket Pool that you cannot work out yourself is okay, but you can't keep treating this Discord as your own personal research assistant. It would be a good idea to share the purpose of all these questions. Feel free to DM me if you prefer to discuss further. And then Invis put a screenshot in there saying Maverick hates new members. This is unbelievable. And Maverick replied by saying, this is wrong, I hate all members. So yeah, I thought that was kind of funny, and that's what I was laughing at earlier. But on that note, I'm going to finish today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all have a lovely weekend ahead. Yeah, I'll see you all on Monday. Bye.